welcome. Howdy from Rowdy. May the fourth be with you. It's actually may the faith be with you. Not a God of force, God of faith. May the faith be with you. But in the meantime, may the fourth be with you. That was the secret message in Star Wars the whole time. They just couldn't come out with the word faith. Oh, great. Commercial and back to the intro. Sorry. That's your enemies right there suffering because of what they've done. Pray for these people. Important that you understand that part as well. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. And thank you all for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. All right, so just a little while ago, let me just try refreshing this. We've had some activity on the 4th here. And when we try clicking on this, there are no images available for this day. So this satellite may have shut down temporarily due to incoming energy. But we have stereo A, okay? And it's right next to the Earth, right next to the other satellite, basically. So it's almost the same view, just off by a couple of degrees. And that's about all we've got. This one only takes a frame per hour, so we only get like 18 frames of activity. But you can see this event coming off the top. That was the very strong M9 flare that we saw last night, okay? And then note these other regions that are still glowing here, all right? So there's your activity for the 4th. Let me just kind of pause, and we'll go through those 10 frames really quick. Let me capture the there's the opening frame. All right, so opening frame, this thing, when it erupts, it puts out a bunch of energy, all right? And this old camera on this old satellite gets, overwhelmed sometimes. And we get a little glitch like that, all right? So starting off with our glitch frame right there. That's our first frame. Oh, just so you know, May 4th, 2024. May the 4th be with you. Okay. Hee for everybody that's a Star Wars fan. All right. Second frame right here. You can see our object that's inducing this flare. Ooh, there's something hidden right there. As well as this, whichever this thing has a bunch of plasma wrapped around it, so it's not really sticking out so much because it's so wrapped in plasma. And there it kind of goes, exiting the screen. Not much to see there, really. Let's do this real quick because I want to see the frames. All right, so opening frame. It goes out of frame. This is the second event right here. We're at frame 10 at 7:53. So here's a second event out of the same region. It's not the same one. And here you can see there goes a little shadow right in there. That one you can see a little bit better moving out. Okay, so 2 good blasts off the top right there. That first one, and then this second one right there. All right, so let's get on over now to the space weather, over to Solar Ham here. And take a little look at our GOES X-ray flux because we have been all fluxed up today. Wouldn't you? Oh, shit, we're in the middle of an X-flare. Huh, look at this. Wow, just as I go live here, we're in an X-flare. It's weird because I was just reading Wages World thing when he went live. It went an X-flare. Let's tap into this and see what our potential is here. Let me pull back out of this. All right, so here it is on our graph. Yep, right here, this right where my cursor is at X 1.3 right here. So, folks, as we speak, we are just coming off of an X 1.3. That's what I was doing my my prayers right before the show. Amazing. While I was doing my prayers, we had an X flare. Huh. Okay, remember we were talking about the potential for X flares, and look how close it was right here. This is what I was going to report on, is this chunk right here. Okay, and how fluxed up that is. And now it's even more. We just had an X flare. So let me pull this over. Everybody take a deep breath. Go ahead and take a peek at what's going on there. You saw our bumpy ride today. Just the 2 events that were captured by Stereo A. So this whole day, something else is going on in there that we're not seeing. All right. Maybe we'll get more data from the other satellite tomorrow or in the future. But for the moment, this is our current conditions. We just came out of an X flare. So, breaking news: we just had an X flare, and 1.3. So let me back out now that you've seen that graph. That's a good graph right there. I like that one because the colors help show you the long duration, the slow motion, long duration events that are happening. Okay, it's not just an impulsive spike really fast. Okay, that means those objects are dragging the plasma out, stretching it out, and it's still occurring until it's finished and it snaps and pulls away. Whew. Okay, now back to our lifted indices here. We're creeping into the 170s almost. We're at 167 now, so we got to watch and make sure this doesn't keep creeping higher, because last time it went into the 170s, the 180s. Every day it jumped by 10 more until we were in the 200s. So right now we're okay, but we're pretty lifted indices right now at the moment. Okay, so lifted indices plus our X flare right now that we just had. All right, it's not the best combination right now. Well, it's because of that. It's because of these lifted indices. This next interaction, the base level is already higher, so it doesn't take much more to go for an X flare. Anyways, let's get down to this and center on this part. Currently, we are at X-ray level M1.2. So we're still in an M-class flare. It's tapering off. It's dropping in its intensity. Okay, but we're still in M level right now. Okay, so everybody go, All right, here's our, well, first let's get over here. We have our C-flare potential is 100% basically. M flare is 75 and our X flare at 25. All right, I got to get this, use this cursor better because the other one takes it out of focus. So very high potential, some red on this map already. Okay, 25%. Well, we could say that was correct or even higher. Remember, after this right here, I was going to tell you tonight that this X flare, I saw this event and I was like, oh, watch out. Our X flare potential should jump higher than the 25%. But it just happened. So I didn't need to report that to you. And now that it's happened, our X flare potential that I was going to put higher than 25% is now back down to 25% because we just had the X flare. So the potential for a second one right afterwards isn't as high, but we still have the 25%. Do you understand? I was going to bump it up, but we just had it. So that bumps it right back down. Anyways, let's get over here. Here's all our M flares all lined up. We have that X class 1.6 back here. Okay, so after that X class, we've had a 4.5, 2.4, 9.1, 3.2, another 9.1, and an 8.4. These M classes, these 9.1s and the 8.4, these are no slouches either, okay? That's a lot of energy. And that's what I'm concerned about. It's not how big the flare is, it's how much energy are we going to take? How much are we going to absorb from this? And you can see this D layer absorption map right here. Okay. Before we go to this D layer map, just really quick over here, look out. Our geomagnetic forecast for the next 3 days goes from 0 to 1 to 2. And now we just had this chunk backed up by an X flare. You might as well put the next one at a 4, a 3 or a 4 at least. Okay, so here we go. It's like we're counting 0, 1, 2, 3. So I bet you in the next day here, May 7th, we're going to be concerned about an impact from all of this and now this X flare as well. Not good. All right, what I want to do is take you over to this D layer region map real quick before some of this data is lost. And go ahead and load this up real quick. And what I'm going to show you here is our impacts. Ooh, it might just have our latest impact on it too. Okay, good. So here we go. I'm just going to draw the cursor right there. There's one impact. Okay, boom. We took on some energy that's going to be translated down to the core. Boom, another impact. That's 2. Ooh, look at that. That is a 3rd impact. The 3rd one's even stronger. 3. And I bet you right at the tail end is going to be our X flare here. Bam! Right there. I think that's our X flare right there because that's the very last little bit of data down here. So 4 times we just got hit with a lot of radiation, a lot of energy, a lot of X-rays just penetrated right through the planet, right into the core. Okay, and a lot of this gets dished to the poles as well. Okay, and absorbs down to the core. That's absorption. That's what I'm a stickler about. That's what's very, very important in this game. The very most underlying factor is absorption. Are you guys absorbing that? Good. 4 impacts right there you just saw. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. All right. back to this. Now, as we come down a little bit now, here's our sunspots that are going on. Now we have a second one, this 3664 and 3663. This is the big bad boy that everybody's concerned about, that I am too. And I'm sure our X flare probably came out of this one because it's beta gamma delta. And I was explaining that last night. The reasoning, my reasoning for that X flare potential is because this thing has been blossoming so quickly and went beta gamma delta pretty fast. It's blossoming a lot like these thunderstorms did, just really quickly. And we'll get into that here later tonight too. So back over to here. Here's our KP index right now. We just took on a little stripe of energy right there. Now with our next CME coming inbound, it will raise it up. And depending on how hard the strike is, we'll take another blast here in the next coming days. We'll find out when. But currently we were way down here at 1, having that suppression event. And now we've popped up out of it and we're at 3. So it looks like it might continue to climb on these next couple bars here in the future here. Okay, but that's the radiation solar wind striking the planet. Here's your auroras, the conditions of them right now. This one's a little faint in this region. Doesn't seem to be appearing on the camera, but anyways, auroras are faint right now. Not too bad. Before I get into that article, let's start tracking. Let's track-a-lack. What's going on here? Some track-a-lacking. All right, so let this play for a second. Gotta be kidding me, gotta be kidding me, gotta be kidding me, gotta be kidding me. Okay, nothing on that one. Let's do this one. This is the important one anyways. And we'll load up the little movie. You guys are so patient. Okay, very important. Impact timing right here. All right, so here comes our CME. It looked to go north of us. So there's the north-south. This is looking down on top of the solar system, like you're looking down on the record. Okay, these would be your planets are rotated around that way. This is the side cut. So most of this is going to strike mainly the northern hemisphere. Well, it looks like to envelop the planet there. So that's a decent strike right there that they're anticipating right here on the cusp of the 6th, the very end of the 5th, 6th time frame right there. Okay, so we'll hold on to that thought for the weather report later on, because that will be added energy that would, enhance any kind of storms. Okay, back out of that. Beep, 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 beep. Backing up. All right. AR 3663 produced an M91. Oh, probably, and this X flare too. Okay, since this has been the culprit the whole time, I'm pretty sure it probably came right out of that region. So let's finish this off. My bad. 36 produced M9, a type 2 radio emission with the estimated velocity of 950 kilometers per second. That's not 950 kilometers per hour. It covers that much in 1 second. Speed beyond your comprehension. Coronagraph imagery, courtesy of Stereo A, shows that a CME is associated with it and may be similar to one produced by the X1.6 event earlier Friday. Okay, more details regarding the CME to follow. Is this the third? Oh, this is yesterday's. Okay, now let's move on. We looked at that D region map. So 4 good hits of absorption there. Now over here, this article, Your geomagnetic storm watch G2, a CME, might hit Earth today. It was hurled into space on May 3rd by the X1.6. Okay, from the active sunspot 3663. NOAA models agree that the bulk of the CME should pass north of our planet, and with its southern flank glancing Earth late on May 5th. Okay, so moderately strong G2 class magnetic storms are possible on the 5th. All right, now this little chart, can I get, oh yeah. Look at all of these flares that this thing has spit out. All right, just bang, 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 bang. X1, M5, M3, M2, M9, M1, M1, M3, M9, M8, and now X flare. Most likely X flare. So this thing has been busy. Let's back out of this, and it says, by the time you're finished reading this, there will probably be another flare. Well, there was an X flare, so they were right. Sunspot 63 is crackling with them and including multiple X and near X flares in the past 48 hours. Okay, so it's done 2 X flares, this one and probably this next one. Each of these flares has created a brief but deep radio blackout on Earth, causing lots of signals below 30 megahertz. Loss of signals. These are events easily noticed by ham radio operators. The flares are expected to continue. 63 has the beta gamma delta configuration magnetic field where mixed polarities are bumping together in explosive proximity. Okay. NOAA forecasters estimate 75% chance of M and 25 of X. Okay. That's what we saw already. Same little article on the space spiral. Moving on. Over here at your Schumann, please. All right. Our latest update here on the Schumann. We had a little grinding event, then it calmed down. Started grinding lightly, little relief, after earthquakes and volcanoes, the little perforations in the crust, little burp right there, and then some weakness. And then all of a sudden, we're right back to grinding again, and we just came out of it, and let me get rebooted there. There's a fresh right there. All right, you see these little stripes that are there right behind this grinding event? So when we do the worn out brakes, the metal pads or the pads grinding, the calipers grinding on the metal wheel, right? And when you apply the brakes, you hear the grinding. So this was a pump of the brakes, and then when you let off the brakes, there's a part that's still rubbing. It's tink, 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 tink. See it? Tink, 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 tink. Those little stripes right there. So we just got out of a small grinding session. We have some weakness, and we have this little pew, pew, where something is still kind of catching and scraping just a tad bit really quick. So we're right on the cusp of grinding. That means there's a lot of pressure. We're right there where pressure builds up, and then all of a sudden it's, the core expands into its shell and starts to grind. And we just came out of one, so we're pretty close to being right on top of the pressure. Okay, and there's a little blast. They probably felt jolt of pain. I've been feeling pain all day, so let's just continue on. This is where I want to get to now. Do you see the eyes on Texas? Let me show you something that I just found that is going to, let's just get into it. All righty, so where we're at is we are at the upper jet stream, okay, 250. This is our polar vortex transition layer, upper jet. I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute and let you guys think about something for a second. Do you see the disruptions those two little eye type features are causing in the weather. Look, this is where we're having our crazy storm system slamming into each other. Okay, what this thing is doing is it's peeling off a bunch of moisture out of this and ripping it right up into this cold front coming in. These little round features, they're not, how do I say this? There's something up higher that's affecting the upper jet stream. There's something above this and something above this that's affecting the upper jet stream. This is not a storm configuration at all. Look at that. I want you guys to be the judge of this as well. You're here a lot. You see this instrument a lot. These are eyes on Texas. And they're diverting these flows and making a very bad batch. Look, if this thing wasn't there, this would all flow and go right out. Something is purposely there, tearing off. Just remember we were talking about eddies and flow asymmetries. When you put something in the way of flow, it'll go around it and create an eddy or a swirl on the backside. Okay. When you put something like this is almost like a wall. This is stopping stuff. See how it pushes under and comes up? There is something up above because we're way up in the upper jet. Okay, we're way up high. So as I process and go down here, as we go down in altitude, here, let's take the wind off there for a second. Okay. They're still there. They're still there. And now this is the weather that they're causing down below. We'll go back up through it. Boom. So your upper jet right there, there's something up there causing this divergence of flow way up high. Then it translates down to this area and does this affect your eddies, your current type effects. Then we get down a little bit lower here. You see how it's curving everything into this area now. And then when we get to our weather, that's the altitude that our weather is at. Look what it's causing. It's causing this airflow to come up here. Remember, our thing was right around here or down here, and it was diverging air. It was diverging air into this. So there's something there that's causing this storm. The side effects of whatever is up high up there is translating into our storms down below. That's what it sure looks like to me. You can come over here and be the judge of that as well. Mess around with this a little bit. Check it out. But today when I was just kind of looking at this and went through it real quick, I saw that and was like, oh dear, that's a little different. To go win. Okay. And it does. It looks like eyes on Texas. If you look at this would be the nose right there. Oh, wait, here, let me pull it down a little bit more. Take this out of the way. And they're clearly there. They're controlling a lot of flow way up high. And this is that hot cocktail mix that I warn about. Cold air slamming into warm moist. This was going to fall on over. If these two things weren't here, all of that flow up above would be gone. These two things are doing, there's something there controlling it. And look how defined they are. They're not vortexes. They're not swirling. If that was the eye of a vortex and there was something swirling around it, that would be understandable. But do you see how these things have created eddies and flows and distorted what was right here just by dipping your hand into the flow of the river and cupping some of the water out and throwing that water right up into that region, right where the cold air hits it? Something's purposely doing this. There's eyes on Texas. We see eyes in the clouds all the time. There's eyes on Texas. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. Did you see all the flooding in Texas after these storms? Everybody pray for these people. Everybody really pray, not just thoughts and prayers, some real heartfelt prayers. Everybody keep your eyes on Texas. Okay, people, those are our brothers and sisters suffering right there. All right, so now let's get moving on here over to our SO2. Something I want to talk about here too. Pull this back a little bit. First, let's start off with our colorization. If you haven't watched the news lately, America is a country divided. It's bleeding out on one side and kind of patchy on the other. Now, as we kind of zoom in here, let me get rid of that thing. I want to point something out. All right, you seen all these, the coloration means, intensity. We saw the pressure build up on the Schumann, so this correlates. You see the darkening. What I want to point out here, though, remember we had these patches here that were blocking a lot of the SO2 from emitting from the ground because of the flooding and the water in the region. Let's come on over to Texas. Do you see what I'm saying? All of that should be filled in with these little, gas pockets or whatever. It's all being suppressed by the water, by the flooding in that area. That's how massive the flooding and how much the effect of that flooding can have on the emission of this gas up through the dirt. Almost makes it watertight so it can't emit. Okay, so very interesting side effect going on due to the flooding in the region. Okay, otherwise you can see we have an increase of pressure going on here. Whoops. Let's come on down. We'll come down to our fulcrum point here in South America real quick. Take a peek in here. You can see pretty dark right there. 3 good spots right there. This one's still around. It wasn't as vibrant as it was the other day, but let's just take a walk down the beach here. These are all independent sites. It's not like one plume blowing it down the coast. These are all independent little sites. And then as we get into this region, see how dark it is there? Let me pull back a little bit. So dark means a lot of gas coming out of that region, which is relieving a lot of pressure. And this is where we see very big earthquakes out here on the plate boundary, right? So it's important that we relieve a lot of pressure in this region. And that's what that gas is doing. It's also an indicator when we see the darkening that pressure is built up. Now, this is China at current conditions. Wait. That was earlier today right there. So they still got their issues going on over there. There's a buildup of pressure right down here at Java, our little relief valve. You can see it's pumping along pretty well, pumping out a lot of, even up here in Sumatra, but mainly the island of Java here, pumping out a lot of this SO2 because of all the volcanoes. And, it's one of our best little venting spots that relieves pressure. Yeah, China going to have some problems. They're already having problems. You see all the flooding over there that I just showed you? They should... Oh, I would love to address that subject, but we're not going to do that during this part. So, I think we're done there with SO2. All right. And we took a look at the air. Let's look at the water. All right, so our water temperature anomalies, okay? Back into Japan, obviously some kind of underwater, something venting hot water or lava at the ocean floor, heating up all this water off the coast right there. We have other areas out here too, and it's not just because of the currents here. Watch as I put on the currents. The current's kind of coming out of here, whips up through that hot spot, but then travels through cold water before it gets up to this region. So all this water, or all this hot water right here, is not flow coming off of this, because it kind of looks like it, but when we zoom in, you can see your currents here, and that's not the case. These are all not independent sites, but there's a lot of activity on the ocean floor out here in the Pacific. This is where Tamumasi is, right here. And when that started to show up orange and yellow, or, a little red, I started getting a little concerned. Now, I mean, that wasn't even very long ago that it started to have a faint little glow of red. Now we're a huge blob that's connected to this huge blob. And now we have this, folks, with a heart in it. Look at that. Let me take the currents off now. Now take a deep breath. That's a big old plume of hot water growing out here in the Pacific off the coast of California, off the west coast here. Okay. Take a deep breath. Don't get too excited. I mean, it's very concerning, but remember, try to be at peace. Over here, Taiwan, we're seeing just a little enhancement right around there, around the shore. A little bit going back in here. So it had faded for a while, but it's starting to come back to life around Taiwan there. Look at this big hot spot in this region right here. That's between Japan and Taiwan right here. Okay, so just a good idea of what's going on underneath the water on the ocean floor. Another spot growing out here. All right, so you can also come over here and check out this this instrument as well. And if you forget how to do it, just pop up my video, freeze frame it, find the spot where I come over here. This is SSTA, that's the sea surface temperature anomaly. This is your regular sea surface temperatures. Okay, so we do this and we look at Japan, that's cold water. Cold and green, I mean, is right there. It's there's ice water and then ice water with some melting cubes in it, right? Well, that's what it's supposed to be, but our anomalies show otherwise. Okay. Very, very concerning what's going on there. A sure indicator of the pressure building down below, shoving magma to the underside of the crust. Now, this heat, this gas that comes out in the SO2, that's hot gas as well. Any emissions that are coming out from down below are going to be extremely hot. And when that pressure comes out, you're seeing how it's affecting our water. This is going to change the weather this summer, I bet. So there's a heart right here. There's a dog with his nose and his mouth open. He's looking at America, barking, and he's got all this fire dragging off the side of his face there. like a pit bull. Raw. Crazy, crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so that was everything there. Leave this up. Oh, yeah, we'll leave this up for our earthquake report right around this region, I think. Okay, moving on to our earthquake report. Thank you for hanging in there. Oh, we got a new one right here. Ooh, excuse me. I'd take a sip. All right, let's get on in here and start doing our basic earthquake report. Just a second there. All right. Now, let's, as you can see, around the Fiji area where our deep quakes usually originate from, all our activity, nothing deep today, but just now, or within a few minutes ago, we had a 5.3 down at 261. All right, this is not a surface boundary quake. This is a 1/3 of the way down 5.3. Right before that was a 4.8 down at 39, and in the catcher's mitt down here, 4.4 down at 34. Now, this whole region went quiet again. We saw a couple of good quakes out of there yesterday. Up here, we have mid-range 4 down at 55. Over here is a 5.6 down at 10. Note how quiet this whole region is. Note how quiet this whole region is. All the way around here, very, very quiet. We come over here to the Juan de Fuca with our 4.3 down at, well, that's a surface quake right on the boundary right there. It's energy being relieved right there. So that's good. The possibility does exist for a magnitude 4.3 or less to happen in California, just because we have this kind of energy happening right off the coast that it could travel down. So I don't think it's going to be much, though. It looks like it relieved most of the energy with a boundary quake right there. So hopefully that did the trick. But the potential still lies there also. Okay. It's kind of, almost like a two-sided coin. It can land up heads or it can land tails too. Just our regular activity going on there. Salt Lake City, what happened here? Wow, a 3.9. Ooh, at the surface. That's a very shallow quake right there. In Thatcher, Utah. That's a diverse quake. It's a little bit different. What's out here? Geologically. I don't care right now. I got this other one up here I want to talk about. This, what is this? 2.9 Stanley, Idaho. Okay, that's our regular spot there. All right, so just a little bit of new activity right there. What's out here in the middle, right next to me? Oh, there's just some crazy rednecks blowing up a mine. Oh, I want to go to all magnitudes. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Okay, there still is little quake activity here right next to Long Island still, which tells me that little pinprick in the balloon that's letting out a little bit of air is still there. Okay, it hasn't sealed up. We still have a weak spot. It's doing a good job of like venting energy with these little quakes, but it is also an indicator that that spot is still alive. What? He's still alive. Okay, so over here at Coco's Plate, our mid-range 4 at the surface, right on the boundary. Down here, we have a 5.0 at the surface, 4.6 down at 208. Other side of the fulcrum, we have a 4.4 down at 210 and 4.3. Good, good, good. Nice even distribution of energy. Adverse quake here. 4.5 down at 10, and coming up here off of Greece, really? Somewhere? Yeah, 4.1 here at Greece. Okay, so kind of a quiet day. One little diverse quake there, another one out in Utah there. Something we need to look at again here is Maui or Hawaii. And I want all magnitudes on this one. No. 1 day, all magnitude. There we go. So we were on it. Okay. So still a little flurry of earthquakes. Not too bad. They're all, they're little 2s and 2.2s. They're smaller quakes, but they're venting energy right there in that area. So with new inbound energy, you'll probably see a little flurry continue there. I thought I saw a new quake pop up over here. Yeah, right here off the island of Sumatra. We just had a 5 down at 69.6. All right. 4.9 they say, but they always funny how they do that. So probably a 5 to a 5.1 or something right here, and it's not on the plate boundary. It's in this trough in between the island and this plate boundary down this little gully down here at 69. So we're seeing a little bit of activity right now as we speak, making it to the surface here. I would expect to see this probably pop off pretty soon. All right, so there's your quake. And then let me get the some of these out of here so I can open up the volcano page. We'll talk about some volcanoes. And with those 4 waves of energy coming in, we got hit 4 times on that D layer region. So that's going to absorb down to the lower levels, and it's going to cause these volcanoes, pressure to build up underneath them, and then they're going to have some more big blasts, and we'll possibly see other ones come to life. These 4 CMEs that may be coming at us when we saw the whoops, I should have left that one up. But we saw the 3 M's in a row, and then the X. So those 4, when they hit, we're going to cause chaos on our volcanoes. So here we go. Santa Guido, Fuego, Semeru, Raun, Ducono, Ventador, and Sangay. So Semeru on the island of Java, 14,000 feet. Some pressure right there, huh? Ducono, 7,000 feet. Ruang, wrong, 6,000 feet. Santa Guido, 14,000. Fuego, 16,000. Sangay, probably pretty high emissions there again. Reventador, 14,000. Let's open up the 4th. What was the 4th? Oh, now it's Cinco de Mayo. Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo. Another drinking holiday. Ooh, we will talk about drinking holidays too. Ibu, 17,000 feet. Luatobi, 6,000 feet. Here we are, Semeru, same one, 14. I don't know about Cabela's ad. Yeah, 14. Rolling 6,000. All right, here we are. Kilauea, the volcano summit area, has been facing a heightened series of earthquake swarm without eruptive activity by now. More than 1,600 quakes have occurred within 6 days since April 27th. Quakes have been located mostly beneath the upper east rift zone, along chains of craters, the road between Puamal Crater and Helena Pali Road. But ever since, so we have seen a bunch of earthquakes, 1,600 earthquakes right there, which is relieving stress. This volcano, last time when it went off, it ejected a lot of magma. That magma cools, in the chamber and in the, in the vent, the avenue coming up from below. Sometimes if it cools off in there, it plugs up that vent, and then pressure has to find a new way to come out. And I don't think that we have found a weak spot around Kilauea here, or a path of least resistance for magma to make it to the surface. So we're seeing earthquake swarms with 1,600 earthquakes instead. Popocatépetl is 20,000 feet. Santa Guido here, 14,000. Fuego, 17,000. All right. Sangay, 26,000. Reventador, 14,000. Sabancaya, 24,000. And that's all she wrote. Now, 24,000. We just saw what this Raung, where are we? Raung, however you want to say it. An 82,000 foot blast. All right. They said it was 64,000. That was the ash cloud. There was actual reports of tephra and other ejecta making it up to 80,000 feet. All right. And the blast before it was 43, I think. Yeah, 43,000 and then an 80,000. So when we have this buildup of pressure, watch out for this bad boy, because it's done it twice. First time, and the second time was even bigger. Thanks, Doc. Nice face. Bye. No, you can close up the door. So keep your eyes on this one. All right. It seems to be a new release spot too. Yeah, that's funny. Battle born and raised. So was I. Now, move out of my screen. And let's come on over to our forecast model. There it is. Thank you, Lord. And let's talk some weather, okay? Go ahead and let this model load up and let this new run play through there. Some of it is very similar to what we saw last night. A few little changes, but it's not a lot of drastic changes. We will we'll address the 5th. That's why I should have taken this down. All right, go ahead and finish playing that. Come here. Back up. Back up. Back up. One more time. One more. Oh. Okay, so late on the 5th and on the 6th, morning of the 6th, night of the 5th, morning of the 6th. So here's the morning of the 5th right there. Wait, let's back up one, because this is our current condition. Still rough weather back here in Texas. Eyes on Texas. There's the morning hours, still some rough weather going up into Oklahoma. There's the noon time. We're still going to have severe weather then. There's your convection with still chances here. Now, our energy is about to arrive. We're at sundown on the 5th. If it arrives just a tad bit early, this convection could possibly blossom a lot stronger than what we're seeing here. I pray that I'm wrong, but this, starting from right here, we could possibly see a little bit stronger blossoming. By here, this is the nighttime of the 5th. This is when it's due to strike. Okay, so added energy from about here, possibly if it arrives early, but anywhere from about here, moving on into the morning of the 6th, noon, convection. This convection right here along this storm line right here has the potential to be a lot stronger than what they're projecting right here. I'm taking the next frame because that right there is the night of the 6th. Okay, so it struck, the energy has should have struck by now and is streaming in still like a little wave rushing up the beach. It doesn't just boom touch the one part of the beach and it's gone. It rushes on in, moves up the beach, and then as it withdraws, it takes a while. So at this point, and I believe this frame before here at convection here, this would be 5, 6, well, about 7 o'clock, around sundown there. And that's a 979 low. That's a category 1 right there. Just if it were a hurricane. So the wind speeds would be the same as a category 1. So not only are these storms dangerous, but the winds that are whipping around this low itself are dangerous as well. So right here, this is going to be a nocturnal event with added energy. And you see this negatively tilted trough, it's usually tilted this way, not going this way. So these negatively tilted troughs are very dangerous, and we get a different kind of convection out of these. This is, again, air mass meeting air mass. That's what all storms are, but this is one of where they slam together so fast. The air mass collisions themselves cause vorticity. The sheer impact and the speed at which the two storms collide, they sideswipe each other and cause both to rotate a little bit. So, extreme weather right here on the 6th, possibly a tad bit before right there during convection. And I don't know. This low is so deep right here. There, you see how it's drawing up moisture right here. You already see clouds growing during the noontime. There's your frontal boundary right there by convection with your pop-ups starting to come. And don't lose sight of this back here on the backside. This severe weather back here, this wind comes around the backside of the storm. And when it whips around the backside, that causes rotation as well. So we're going to see, just by sheer movement, vortation vortexes, okay? Or the possibility for them. And when you have the possibility for those collision vortexes, that's when you get your anticyclonic rotation. And we've seen a couple of events like that are just recently, okay? Now, I'm sorry I'm delaying, but it's very important from this time frame. Now, it could shift a little bit and be here in Iowa, or it could be a little bit back. It might happen a little fire a little north. It all depends on the center of this low. If the center of the low is shifted down here, that changes all this way down to here. All right, so it all depends on where the center of this rotation actually goes. But for now, it's there at convection. And then at nighttime, look out Iowa, Missouri, Minnesota. I would say even back up into North Dakota. This whole branch. And this is when we're having added energy from the sun. All right. Radiation mixing with and pressure pushing on our atmosphere make these lows dive in pressure and they bomb out. Like bombogenesis. So we might see some bombogenesis out of this, which would turn this into something unimaginable. So pray that, start praying for everybody. Get ready, everybody in that region, for the night of May 6th. That is, tomorrow's the 5th, the day after tomorrow night. So that's a little good warning. That's a good day and a half advance warning. There's the morning of the 7th. That'll probably be a little different as well. There's the noontime. Now, hopefully this energy is depleted and gone by this time as this thing go at convection there. It doesn't intensify too much, but look how it's wrapping around like a fist, rotating around with this big punch of energy, hitting cold air. This is up in Canada, you guys. This is warm, moist air from the Gulf that came all the way up here. And it dodged all the cold air in this whole zone. It went all the way around and curled back and finally touched cold air up in Canada. Crazy. Then you see that low rotate right there. That's all right. So The convection of the 7th. You people up here, even in Montana and northern Idaho up there, watch out for possible violent weather up there. That'll be the nighttime of the 7th, morning of the 8th. No, yeah, that's noon. Please work. Convection. So here we go at convection of the 8th. You see this big old storm front right here, and the horn or out front here is already pushing convection on May 8th into Illinois and Indiana possibly. So convection of the 8th, and then the nighttime of the 8th. This is another event that's going to be very, very dangerous. Possibly Illinois, Indiana, or Ohio. It could be anywhere in that region. This is where they got it forecasted for now. Then May 8th, which would translate into today. It usually takes this energy about 3 days to get here. So 3 days, we're at the 8th. So minus 3 days would be, well, today, the 5th. And what just happened today? An X flare came off the sun. So we could just back on up here. There's the morning of the 8th. We're going to probably have inbound energy hitting on the 8th during the course of the whole day. So that's noon, your fire-ups, your actual convection and producing by convection here, 7 p.m. probably in this time zone, and then added energy to that. Already not good. Added energy to that. So, how do I say this? I don't want to panic people and put this fear out there, but the sense of urgency, I should be jumping up and down and screaming, "Get the hell out of there!" But since you can't, be very aware of your weather in these next coming days. We have a lot of energy on the way from the sun, which is going to take a common day and possibly turn it into something that it's not. And days like this and turn them into monsters. I pray I'm wrong, but hold on. This is what the thing's already showing. And you just saw X flare coming off the sun today, the 5th. Takes 3 days. That'll be the 8th. All right, that's nighttime. Morning of the 9th. That could still possibly be stronger right there as well. There's the night or noon of the 9th. Convection. Nighttime of the 9th. All the way through this zone. Even that green blob, that whole area could possibly be the strike zone. So that'll be the nighttime of the 9th, going into the morning of the 10th. By noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 11th. See how that's wrapping back around? There's the noontime of the 11th and convection of the 11th right there. Now, that 3 days back from the 11th would be, well, on the 8th. So whatever happens on the 8th and comes off the sun could enhance that as well. So that'll be the convection of the 11th. Now we're talking nighttime the 11th, morning of the 12th, noon, convection, 13th, noon, convection, that's convection. Sorry, I skipped one. So noon of the 13th, convection. You see how this is all boiling up right there? Nighttime, little center right there. Morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 15th. Little bit of, watch that area right there around the nighttime of the 14th. Then we go into the 15th, noon, convection, nighttime, 16, noon, convection. That's gnarly. The noon of the 16th, convection, nighttime. Oh, dang. I had a feeling. So, nighttime of the 16th up here again, you guys. Morning of the 17th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 18th, noon, convection, nighttime. 19, noon, convection, nighttime. There's one. That's the morning of the 20th, noon, convection, and that was all that was there up until the 20th. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start that loop over again. This event down in Texas, then that event right there. Those are the next two ones to, and that third one right there. Anything after that is kind of out of the ballpark for right now. Anything past 3 days, because we don't know what's coming off the sun tomorrow. We can only kind of take what the weather that came off the sun, mix it with this, and know kind of what's going to happen at least for the next 3 days. So, inbound energy due to strike late on the 5th. So that's the noontime of the 5th, convection. There's the nighttime of the 5th. That's when it should be hitting right about there. So this could possibly blossom and be a little stronger. Morning hours of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. This event here will still have some of the, depending on the arrival of this X-flare too. Sometimes X-flares travel faster and they get here sooner. So it might not affect this one. It might arrive sooner and end up affecting this right there. But either way, we got some dangerous weather coming up. And right here's a nighttime event going from convection with a negatively tilted trough right here. Now, tornadoes are going to grow and travel north. Instead of going this way, they might go this way. And that'll have backward possible spinning motion as well. So very, very interesting setup. Everybody in those regions, if you have family or if you're in that region, get prepared for an event on the nighttime of the 6th. And still, we got activity down here in Texas going into the morning hours tomorrow. There's the noontime tomorrow, and then convection. All right, so quick little weather update there. Well, that wasn't quick, but there's your weather. All right, I'm going to put that back into motion while I get set up for tonight's spiritual report. We did our astrophysics and our geophysics or terraphysics. Now it's time to get metaphysical with it. Oh, let's get on over here and load up. Actually, it's not what I wanted to load up at all. Let's try something different. This one. Nope, that was the wrong one. Go back. Sorry, I just got to pull up some images. Go ahead and go to the bathroom. Get your drinks. Get all settled in. We'll do a little bit of Escape the Giant Fish game. Come on, let me skip the ad. Some demonic stuff in those ads, huh? All right, pause right there. Get this out of there. All right, so there's one of the images. This is the face out by the moon. My face right there. Oh, yeah, here. I was looking at this picture here real quick. Let's see if we can. It's me when I was just a tad bit younger. All right, that's my face. Yeah, kind of weird. I was like, what the heck is going on here? But I think we all understand what the heck is going on here now. So we got this image. What was the other ones, Lord, that you were telling me to pull up? Oh, yeah. So we went through a lot of the connecting the dots last night, you guys got to see the bigger picture. Hopefully you were able to connect the dots and see the invisible man. What's basically impossible to see unless you have spiritual eyes. Okay, here, this image right here is one that when we were talking about the Revelation 12 sign and a big old object next to the sun, there it is, right there. That's Nemesis. Or one of a couple of these bigger objects. I think there's like 2 or 3 of them. This one probably being the most powerful of them. Okay, so we had that. We're going to come down to... We've got to pull up that one. That's always a staple. Okay, and then what was the other ones we were going to do? We can get rid of that. We can get rid of this now. And what was the other one we want to talk about? Shoot. Okay, I guess we got that for right now. What's the other face we were going to show? I had another one I was going to pull up. I can't bring it up. I got some good stuff for you guys tonight, so get all comfortable, take some deep breaths, and we'll get to business here. Okay, let's see here. I had left off with the other stack, but I want to do something different now. I was going to move into more, but we're changing course for a second and doing something different. I'm always doing something different and something new, so here, and take a little sip of this. Okay. The very essence of my words is truth, absolute, unchanging, eternal truth. More and more people are falling for the lie that truth is either relative or non-existent. They're too cynical or too wounded to see the things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. They tend to focus on what is false, what is wrong, what's impure, and what is ugly. They tend to focus on the mainstream media that is false, wrong, impure, and straight up ugly. The way they lie to the people is just repulsive. Okay? And when you keep ingesting that stuff, the media just dishes out, they spoon feed excrement from either a dog or a cow or a bull. Let's just call it some bullshit, okay? So they got this big old grand bowl of bullshit that they're spoon feeding out to the public. The public fills their bowls and laps it up like it's the truth, like it's gospel. And they tend to focus on what's false or fake news, which is wrong, impure, and ugly. And that hurtful focus leads many to despair and self-destructive behavior. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel of my glory. The gospel radiates pure, powerful light that illuminates my glory, the wonder of who I am and what I have done. This good news has unlimited power to transform lives from despair into delight. Have you guys felt that transformation in your life from despair? You saw all that stuff in the news, but now you're able to look at it and still be in this weird state of delight. Okay? All of my children that are filled with my spirit are well equipped to be light bearers, shining the gospel brightness into the lives of others. I want you to join in this glorious venture using your gifts as the opportunities I provide. I know you are weak, but that fits my purposes perfectly. My power is most effective in your weakness. I, the Lord, am your strength. On days when you are feeling strong, this truth may not speak powerfully to you. Excuse me. Especially on the days you're feeling strong, you don't really sense that, right? You're already feeling strong. However, it's let me start again. I am your strength, and on the days when you're feeling strong, this truth may not speak so powerfully to you. However, it is a lifeline full of encouragement and hope. You see that? That's encouragement and hope right there in your face. That's encouragement and hope right there. I'm watching you from above. So, this is a lifeline full of encouragement and hope, and it's always available. So, whenever you're feeling weak or your lack of strength can help you look to me and cling to that secure lifeline. Like, I wasn't feeling all that strong today, all right? I was feeling weak. So, whenever you're feeling weak, your lack of strength can help you look to me. So, when you're feeling weak, that's a little indicator to look to me, okay? So, it can help you look to me and cling to that secure lifeline. Try calling out to me at any time, Lord, save me, or Jesus, help me. All kinds of different little brief little call out. My favorite one is, I'm doing it again, Lord. I'll catch myself doing something, and I'm doing it again. Please help me, Lord. I just caught myself doing it again. Please help me. So just little ones like that. Okay. Something that's comfortable, that something that gives you comfort is knowing that you're loved, that you're not alone. There's somebody out there that can relate to what you're going through. That kind of comforts you. So let my unfailing love be your comfort. When you seem to be sinking in your struggles, it's crucial to hold on to something that will not fail you, something you can trust, with your very life. My powerful presence not only strengthens you, it holds you close and doesn't let go. See, I have a firm grip on you. Because I am always near, there's no need to fear being weak. In fact, my strength comes into its own in your weakness. The two actually fit together perfectly. So, thank me for your weakness, trusting in my ever-present strength. Oh, that was the other one I wanted to pull up. Watch Woman of the Dragon. Watch Woman. It should pop right up. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. One of our family members here, she's been doing a lot of hard work at videoing the skies, and one of her videos not too long ago captured something awesome. And this one, she's been going to town. She captured some other good things, but it was not this latest one. Oh, this structure right there. in the clouds. All right, let's see if she pans back to it again. Or I can just go right to it again. All right. I've been looking for that structure in the clouds for a while. I forgot I wanted to do that part real quick, so we'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish up this reading real quick. So you're kind of looking at that, and you're thinking of comfort. You feel comfortable when you're around people that you trust and love, right? That's when you truly feel comfortable. So let my unfailing love be your comfort. Remember, I have a firm grip on you, and because I'm always near, there's no need to fear being weak. My strength comes into its own in your weakness. So thank me for your weakness, trusting in my ever-present strength. We'll hold right there. Now I want to come back to this, and I want to pull up something else. So there's this book out there called the Book of Miracles, all right? And it's some old paintings that surfaced that were kind of hidden for a long time. And some of these have surfaced within the last 20 years or so. But in there is that image right there of the burning log. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. This Book of Miracles also has stuff in it from all these previous events, all right? They documented them back then. Let's just kind of put this on and listen for a second here.
Especially as there are plenty of apocalypses to choose from. In 1552, an anonymous author captured his doomsday fears onto parchment. Known as the Book of Miracles, it is perhaps the world's most disturbing picture book, with scenes of calamity and chaos and eerie hybrids that defy logic. All were believed to be omens that the apocalypse was on its way. These mesmerizing images invoke a sense of dread.
We've seen that already.
The kind of dread that arises from things we don't understand, with haunting creatures that inhabit our nightmares. Welcome to Strange Christian Art, 1542.
Okay. This was seen in the sky over the city before a bunch of destruction. And could you see them seeing this, not knowing how to depict it properly in a painting, and, kind of doing something like that? Or even just a tad bit further here is that. Okay, and they even, what is this? A flaming log coming out of the sky? And that's what a lot of these images in here correlate with the Bible perfectly, all right? But what's this one? I've been looking for this structure, this type of, we found it, I would say. And I'm going to go ahead and play this for a second here. We'll mute her. In case she doesn't want her voice on there. And she'll pull back around to it again here. Look at this face right there. Something right there. There's another one right there. 2 eyes, the nose right there. Dog right there. And then this big burning log in the sky. See how it's straight on the end right there? And then also, I want to point out, if she does it again. Yeah, right here. Okay. Note this shadow coming in. This almost looks like something pointing to this. And this strange cutout structure that's like very squared off on the end, kind of looking like, a burning log. See that structure right there? Oh, there's another dog. Whoa, go back, back. What's with all the dogs? Boom, right there. The eye, the nose, the bottom pouty mouth, the face right here of another dog. And his ears flop down on one side, the other one sticking up. There's a dog right there. Face of a dog. Oh, maybe that's his stick. That's Fido's stick. But anyways, that structure right there reminded me of this in the Book of Miracles. What do you guys think? I'll let you be the judge of that as well. And then this also, this image right, whoops. Here. Sorry. Right here. Oh, just move to the next image, please.
Like the week in 1542, when the sky caught fire, or in 1550, like the week in 1542, when the sky...
Yeah, all this happened back in the 1550s or whatever. So a lot of these images out of the Book of Miracles here. So something very similar to either one of those captured here in the sky. Well done, Watchwoman. Come over, you guys. Give her some love. Give her a thumbs up. She's doing awesome, catching awesome stuff. And something else I want to point out. These kind of cloud structures right in here, this is the stuff you want to videotape. All right. You might not see them at first when you're videotaping them. But you can see the dog now, can't you? Let me pull back just a tad bit more. Okay. So there's a dog face right there. She captured another one. And then earlier in the video, there was another one, right? Where did I see it? Right around here, I think. Oh, right here, I think. Anyways, come over, check out her stuff. She's capturing some amazing stuff too. And these faces they're there. And it's not pareidolia, because why would pareidolia make you see a dog face? What's up with that? You know, and true pareidolia, you should be able to see it in any kind of random substance, like say the carpet or the sand or any kind of other random texture. If you see faces in that, that's pareidolia. But God is doing stuff in the sky here, and it's clear. Oh, wow. Right here, this face bisected down the middle. See the mouth, the nose, and the eye right there. So when you look up, you just see all these scattered clouds and stuff, but there's spiritual stuff looking down, looking back at you. You're being watched from up above by dogs. Uh-oh. Anyways, very, very interesting structure that she captured there. And I wanted, while I was doing the reading there, it popped in my mind. I wanted to cover that. That was the other thing I wanted to cover tonight. So well done, Watchwoman. She did a good job. She probably left already, huh? Yeah, you saw one on the left side looking down to the dog. Oh, probably back at that other image here. But yeah, these little pop-up frames down here, if you run your cursor along this, it takes all this and compresses the image and makes them a little easier for you to see. There was a UFO. Oh, a bird. You caught a bird. Good job. So yeah, you just run your cursor down along there, and sometimes those faces are a lot easier to see when they're compressed. So definitely a spiritual event going on right here. I believe that what she captured is this type of event, or the flaming log looking type thing structure. Where was that one again? The flaming log. Something I want to point out in this one. So notice this. This isn't the moon. That's an eclipse. So after an eclipse, so when you're reading, left to right, first is the eclipse, then a flaming log, and then the sun with a face on it or something. Okay? That almost kind of looks like the way it's positioned, that this happened after this, which we just had our eclipse, and now she captured the flaming log. And what's really amazing, and you can't see it yet, I don't think she was able to capture the, is it right in there? Sorry for the pause in the reading there, but it's not able to be captured yet. In another realm that's even bigger, this log right here is the edge of a crown that's sitting on a much bigger face in the background way down here. This is actually a crown, the edge of a crown running through there in a bigger dimension. I think maybe right there. No, where's recapture? A little further back. Ooh, right there. I saw it just briefly in like one frame. It's really hard. It's when she's pulled back the furthest, and you can see the furthest back in here. There was a face underneath this, and it was a crown. All right, so very good job. All that hard work's paying off. And this structure right there, when you saw that was good that you filmed that. Good heads up for her. Well done. Everybody give her love. She did a great job. And Cindy's doing awesome too. Hopkinson, she's out there videotaping. She got her time-lapse things going. There's all kinds of stuff in hers too, but she does time-lapse, and there's so many that it's hard to like just pick out one. So anyways, there was that. Well done, back to her. And now back to this reading here again. I had that. Oh. Okay, so we were just talking about your strength comes into its own in your weakness. So trusting my ever-present strength, and don't be afraid to face your sins. Sorry for the order there. Except for me, there has never been a sinless person. And if you claim to be without sin, you deceive yourself and evade the truth. It's actually quite freeing to confess your sins. Remember, we were doing the step work, doing our step 4, taking a moral inventory, and then confessing it to somebody, that can relate, a fellow Christian or fellow alcoholic or drug addict or whatever your problem seems to be. If it's addicted to your phone or addicted to the news, whether you know it or not, you have an affliction. You're mentally, you've been programmed wrong. So you're kind of deranged. We need to clean that old way of thinking out, and not brainwashing, but we're actually cleaning your brain, okay? Getting out all the bad stuff and putting in good stuff, all right? That's why it's important to confess your sins. It relieves your heart. So it's actually quite freeing to confess your sins, knowing now that I will forgive you and purify you from all unrighteousness. Okay? Now you know that I will forgive you. It's not just hoping and guessing and I can just confess this little stuff and keep the nasty stuff for myself. All that secret hidden skeletons in the closet. because you didn't know for sure. Well, you should know for sure now. And don't be afraid to face your sins. It's freeing to confess them, knowing that I will forgive you and purify you from the unrighteousness. And the great news is that I have redeemed you. I have paid the full penalty for all of your sins. So when you confess your wrongdoings, you're aligning yourself with the truth. And since I myself am the truth, your confession draws you closer to me. It also sets you free from nagging, guilty feelings. Uh-oh, somebody got some nagging, guilty feelings out there and you want to be set free of them? Okay? Confess them. It draws you closer to me. I already know about them anyway. I'm just waiting for you. Is there something you want to tell me? I know you took the car out and stole my keys and took my truck out and did burnouts and wore out the back tire. I know you did. Is there something you want to tell me? Because it's weighing on you? Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, confessing them makes you feel better. And just know now that I will forgive you. Then when I forgive you, well, then means you got to forgive yourself, right? So if I'm able to forgive you, you better be able to forgive yourself. So that frees you. I have set you free from your nagging guilt feelings now. So when you realize you've sinned in your thoughts, words, or actions, admit it immediately. Your confession need not be lengthy or eloquent. It can be as simple as "forgive me, Lord," or anything like that. It's your recognition that you made a mistake. You address it immediately. You admit it immediately. We're going to get to like step 10 where when you're wrong, you promptly admitted it. Because everybody is running around demanding that they're right, and every single one of them's wrong. You're a bunch of wrongers running around wronging each other, saying, I'm right. It's like this crazy zoo. Everybody ingests the BS from the mainstream and then regurgitates it back to each. Oh my God. If you guys could see what I see, throwing up excrement on each other, it's just so gross. But I'm going to set you free from that. So, little prayers like "forgive me, Lord," "cleanse me, Lord," "help me, Lord." Just your simple confession is the recognition that you did something wrong or that you were wrong, and admit it immediately. The quicker you do it, the sooner you're right back on course again. The longer you take and the more you try to fight your side of the story and you're wrong, the more you go down that hole. You want to avoid that hole, but if you do slip and get one foot in it, admit it immediately for your own mental health, for your own good, okay? So it doesn't eat away at your brain. And the confession need not be lengthy or eloquent. Do not sit there and try to formulate, how am I going to do this? What am I going to say? What? That blows it all too. Just say, "Forgive me and cleanse me, Lord." Because I have already done the hard part. It's pretty easy to just say some words. "Forgive me and cleanse me, Lord," and mean them. I've already done the hard part. And your part is to live in the light of the truth, which is me, I, your Savior, am the truth and the light of the world. Ooh. So, let me teach you how to spend more time and more of your time in the present. The future, as most people conceptualize it, doesn't really exist. So when you gaze into tomorrow, making predictions, you're simply exercising your imagination. You have no idea what's coming tomorrow. You're just exercising your imagination. I alone have access to what is not yet because I am not limited by time. So as you go step by step through each day, I unfurl the future before you each day, one step at a time. So go step by step through each day as I unfurl the future before you. While you're moving forward through time, you never set foot on anything but the present moment. Okay? Get that into your head too. While you're going throughout your day, you never set foot on anything but the present moment. So stay in the present. Recognizing the futility of gazing into the yet to come or the future can set you free to live more fully in the present. So when you recognize that looking at the news and gazing into the future, have you finally recognized now that it's futile? Have you yet? Because everybody's still watching it and gobbling it up and regurgitating it on each other's faces. So recognizing the futility of gazing at the lies, all the deception, and even this yet to come times that you're future tripping about, it's futile. It's futile. How long until you recognize the futility of gazing into the yet to come times? Because when you do, when you recognize the futility of gazing into the future, that's what sets you free to live more fully in the present. Becoming free is a demanding process because your mind is accustomed to wandering into the future at will. I mean, constantly. Your mind is just automatically default set, go start tripping into the future, right? So get off that default setting, that future tripping of the yet to comes. It's all imagination anyway. And be in the present moment. When you're doing that, you're free. You're becoming free. And this becoming free is a demanding process because your mind is accustomed to wandering. So when you find yourself caught up in these thoughts, you recognize that you're roaming in fantasy land. Awaken yourself to this truth. It helps you return to the present moment where I eagerly await you, ready to enfold you in my unfailing love. Pretty simple stuff, just kind of hard to do. Right before that was a different lesson, and I wanted to... Okay. So this whole thing comes full circle back around to this other lesson, to where you are safe, you are secure, and now you are complete in me. If you're not trusting enough. You could work on your trust thing then here if you want. That's out by the moon. That can't be fake. That's out by the moon. So your trust levels. The more you trust, the more you are safe. The more you trust, the more you are secure. The more you trust, the more complete you are in me. So stop your anxious striving and come to me with the things that concern you. Trust me enough to be open and honest as you talk about these matters that are weighing you down. We talk about them frankly, not eloquently, blah, 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 blah. Thou thee, no. We talk honest and frankly about the matters that weigh you down. You give all your worries and cares to me. You got that? Quit worrying. Give them to me. I know what to do with them. I make masterpieces out of them. So give me all your worries and give me all your cares. Give all your worries and cares to me, for I care about you. I am taking care of you. Then rest for a while in the shelter of my presence. When you wander away and leave me out of your life, you no longer feel complete, do you? The restlessness you experience at such times is a gift from me, reminding you to return to your first love. I want to be central in your thoughts and feelings, your plans and your actions, because this helps you live a meaningful life according to my will. So you want to have a meaningful life? I want to be central in your thoughts and feelings, your plans and your actions. When you do that, that helps you live that meaningful life that you want. When you start doing that, you're on the pathway to heaven, and I am your constant companion. You will encounter trouble as you journey with me, but take heart. I have already overcome this world, and in me you are indeed safe. In me you are indeed secure, and now in me you are complete. Come to me and rest in my presence. I am the Prince of Peace. You need my peace continually, just as you need me at all times. When things are going smoothly in your life, you tend to forget how dependent on me you really are. Later, when you encounter bumps in the road, you become anxious and upset. Eventually, you return to me and seek my peace, which I gladly give you this glorious gift, though it's hard for you to receive it until you calm down. I know this through experience. It's hard to receive this gift until you have calmed down. And sometimes the calming down part is a process in itself. You're actually enjoying being all riled up at that moment. You're in that insanity. So I gladly give you this gift, though it's hard to receive until you calm down. How much better is it to stay close to me at all times? And remember that I, your prince, am royalty. All authority in heaven and now on earth has been given to me. When you're experiencing hard times in your life, come to me and tell me your troubles. But remember who I am. Don't shake your fist at me and demand that I do things your way. Instead, pray. Pray these encouraging words that David did. I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God, and my times are in your hands. And David understood. He understood this concept. So he said, you are my God, and I put my times in your hands. The moment you do that, you live free. Where am I going? One back from that too. Okay, yeah. I am always with you. Whether you're aware of my presence or not, sometimes the place you're in seems desolate and devoid of my loving companionship, but you can call out to me and know now that I am by your side, eager to help. I am near to all who call on me. You got to call on me for me to be near, right? How am I supposed to know if you don't call on me? So I am near to the people who call on me. You whisper my name in tender trust, casting your doubts to the wind. Tell me your troubles and seek my guidance, then change the subject. Praise me for the greatness and glory and my power and majesty, and thank me for the good things I've done and am doing in your life. When you do that, that perspective comes in and you have a new perspective. It's not about my ego. When you praise me for my greatness and glory, it's a simple thank you for helping me understand this. When you praise me for my power and majesty, this is all that you're going to inherit too. Okay? So, it's not for me, it's for you. When you thank me for the good things I've done and doing in your life, it makes you strong. It just enriches you. I hope you guys understand that part. It's so hard for the world to grasp that, I guess. Now when you do this and you try and you give a little trust and you try some of these, you understand these concepts and you try some of these steps, you will then taste and see that I am good. The more you focus on me and my blessings, the better you can taste my goodness. So delight in the sweetness of my unfailing love, savor the hearty flavor of my strength, and satisfy the hunger of your heart. Satisfy that hunger down in there of your heart. You satisfy that hunger with joy, with peace, with courage, with comfort. Satisfy the hunger of your heart with the joy and the peace of my presence, because I am with you and I will watch over you wherever you go. Okay, and I'm going to wrap it up with this. While you're thinking and looking, I want you to have quiet confidence in me, your living God, Son of Man. First came as Son of God. Now I am Son of Man. And I want you to have quiet confidence in me, your living God. And think about Isaiah and what he wrote. He said, in the quietness and confidence is your strength. Okay, so in this world, people sometimes use loud voices and preposterous promises to gain power over others. Sound familiar? Like our politicians? And our media? They just loud voices and preposterous bullshit to gain power over you. These noisy speakers and their stupid narratives may appear to be strong, offering health and wealth to the people who end up giving them their money, but these people are actually parasites. Yes, they're parasites. Okay? All those news agencies, all that other bullshit out there, those noisy speakers may appear to be strong, and they may appear to be offering health and wealth and all this wonderful knowledge, but you're the one who are paying them, and they're actually parasites. They survive by sucking precious resources out of others. You know the type that survive by sucking precious resources out of you. True strength comes from quietly trusting in me and my promises. That's where true strength comes from. It comes from trusting in me and the promises that I gave you. Now, rejoice that I am a living God and not a lifeless idol, not a big face out by the moon, I'm not a cloud. Pull back from that, please. Come back over to the other one. Okay. These are signs of my presence. Okay. But you need to understand that I am a living God. That should give you even more reason to rejoice. Because I'm not a lifeless idol. It's not just a face in the clouds. I am a living person, a living God. I am the living one. I showed you the birthmark on my side. I was dead, and behold, I am alive. I once was dead. I was stabbed in the side, killed by a stab wound in the side, and now I'm alive again. So I was dead, and behold, I am alive again. My power, now that you see and you understand, my power is infinite. Yet, when I approach you gently and lovingly. That's why you spend time with me. Spend that time with me, cherished one, relating to me in confident trust. And as you relax with me, I strengthen you, preparing you for the challenges you will encounter on the road ahead. Okay, I'm strengthening you and preparing you for the challenges you will encounter tomorrow. And when you're in that tomorrow, in that present moment tomorrow, you will be able to still receive that strength in that moment as well. So as you relax with me, I strengthen you. You relax, I strengthen. So as you relax with me, I strengthen you, preparing you for the challenges that will come tomorrow. And while you're focusing on my presence, use scripture to help you pray. You can draw near me by whispering, I love you, Lord. You are my strength. Okay, that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And I'm still to come. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.